Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Katie Watkins.
And I'm Mary Claire Cunningham.
Let's take a look outside with our weather woman, Daniela Martinez Serrano, for a look at the weather. Daniela?
Hi guys, the current temperature is 70 degrees out here. Now let's take a closer look at our skies. As you can see, it is partly cloudy, partly sunny today here at the Little Apple. But don't let this fool you because you will be needing a rain jacket today. Now the big question on everyone's mind is what will the weather look like throughout the week? I'll have the answer to that in my 5-day forecast coming up.
This is Channel 8 News, KKSU LP. From Manhattan and Riley County. From Kansas State University, this is Channel 8 News.
2, 1, take camera 2.
Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Katie Watkins.
And I'm Mary Claire Cunningham. Coming up on today's show, we remember a student whose passion for soccer lives on through his fraternity. And we will take a look at some changes coming to Manhattan Town Center Mall.
But first, the news. 22-year-old Alexander McConnell of Manhattan was arrested on Monday in connection with first-degree murder and child abuse. His bond has been set at $200,000. The investigation is ongoing, but no further information has been released at the time.
According to USA Today, the first case of Ebola in the United States has been confirmed in a Dallas hospital. The patient recently traveled to Liberia and is currently in isolation. A spokesperson for the hospital believes they have it under control. National Fire Prevention Week kicks off Sunday, October 5th. But some K-State students and faculty got an early first-hand look at the work of crews in the event of an emergency. Calvin Hall was evacuated after the Manhattan Fire Department and K-State Police were called to a report of smoke on the top floor of the building at around 3 p.m. Wednesday, September 24th.
Yeah, we were just sitting in class and the fire alarm started going off. And this morning, my office is on the 3rd floor. I walked up there and there was a really dense fog and smoke was coming out of the air vents. So whether the two things are related, I don't know, but they just started leading us out of the building. And
the building remained closed for much of the afternoon, giving some students an unexpected reprieve from class. No one was hurt, and fire officials say a refrigerant leak from the HVAC system was the cause of the smoke.
Some changes are coming to the Manhattan Town Center Mall, including the possible closing of 2 major stores. Here with this story is Channel 8 News reporter Willie Evans.
Thanks, Katie. A number of stores will be opening at the mall soon, but the possibility remains that even more will be closing.
Sears, Dillard's, and JCPenney generally result in a decrease in foot traffic for shopping centers. Additional rumors stated that JCPenney and Manhattan Town Center would be leaving as well after reports surfaced indicating JCPenney would be closing multiple stores nationwide came out earlier this year. JCPenney officials stated that the store in Manhattan Town Center will not be closing and that the corporate offices have no plan to close the store anytime soon. This was confirmed by Manhattan Town Center marketing manager Jocelyn Guilfoyle, who also confirmed the closing of Sears. Guilfoyle says that while Sears is an iconic store and Manhattan Town Center is sad to see them go, they see it as an opportunity to bring in new tenants to the community.
News coming out of Manhattan Town Center is bad, however, as new stores such as a Famous Footwear and a seasonal Toys R Us will be opening before Christmas. I talked to Lyle Butler, the president and CEO of the Manhattan Town Center Chamber of Commerce, who said that the store will be closing is not a reflection of the local economy, and he doesn't see any problems with Manhattan Town Center filling that vacancy. We'll have more on this story and how it might affect downtown economy for you next week as well.
All right, thanks, Willie. We're going to take a quick break.
When we get back, we'll take a look at how farm animals are being used for cancer research.
Most people understand what the purpose of a car seat is, but few people understand how to really install them. Coming up, we're going to show you how to install a car seat in a car. Back to you guys.
It was a routine grain elevator inspection until the explosions began. Until a blast tossed him more than 300 feet. Then it became the event that changed Kevin Saunders forever. The body of this K-State alum was broken, but his spirit, well, that spirit not only survived, it thrived. Against all odds, Saunders transformed himself into the world's greatest wheelchair athlete, one of America's premier motivational speakers, and the first Paralympian appointed to the President's Council on Physical Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Wired magazine calls him the explainer. His students call him amazing. Over 20 million YouTube views show that Associate Anthropology Professor Michael Wesch is transforming higher education. Translated to more than 20 languages and counting, Professor Wesch's teachings still share one common voice: passion. And whether you're learning live or online, that passion is contagious. And that passion is one of the leading reasons Kansas State University is first among U.S. public research universities in producing U.S. Case Carnegie Professors of the Year. Where there's a wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back. I'm Katie Watkins.
And I'm Mary Claire Cunningham.
Parents have a tough job keeping their children safe,
especially when traveling with their children even short distances. We go to Joel Garver with a look at how to keep your child safe in the car.
All right, guys, we're back here with our demonstrator, Lacey, and she's going to show us how to properly install a car seat in a car. So we'll go over here. And the first thing she's going to do is grab the latch on the back and find the hook between the seat of the car and the back of the car. It can be kind of tough. It's wedged down in there. She's going to put the back of the car seat back up against the seat and grab the seat belt. She's going to run it out so she can get it all the way through there. Pull it through the other side. And then she's going to find the seat belt. Now, it's kind of tough. She's going to latch it in, then she's going to tighten it. She's going to tighten the seat belt as best she can. And what that does is that brings the back of the car seat up against the back of the car, or up against the back of the seat, therefore strapping it in even better. So the reason we're talking about this is RCPD offers an event for car seat installation, and next week we're going to cover that story. It's the first Tuesday of each month, so it'll be next Tuesday, and we're going to cover that and show you the proper way to install it with the RCPD. Back to you guys.
Thanks for the information, Joel.
A report of sexual exploitation of a child was filed by the Raleigh County Police Department on Monday. Police found that a 14-year-old female victim was contacted by an unknown subject who attempted to persuade her to perform sexual acts via webcam. The incident is still under investigation. Parents are advised to monitor who their children are talking to on the internet.
A federal jury has awarded $1 million to a suburban Kansas City woman who was falsely described by a radio station as a porn star. Ashley Patton of Olathe sued the owner of 96.5 The Buzz after a DJ identified her as a porn star on air. Researchers are finding a new way to combat cancer.
In fact, new discoveries are happening in unique places. Channel 8 News reporter Alyssa Lally is here to tell us how some four-legged farm animals are in the spotlight of cancer research.
Thanks, Mary Claire. Scientists have told me they're making surprising discoveries in cancer research, and I got a chance to sit down with them earlier this week.
What if pigs could cure cancer? Scientists at K-State have found a breed of pigs that may be able to do just that. Researcher Giselle Sino found a unique trend in a specific breed of pigs. Those pigs appeared to lack B and T cells, which scientists say make up the immune system.
And it's sort of like John Travolta in The Boy in the Bubble.
To her surprise, Sino had discovered a SCID pig. SCID stands for Severe Combined Immunodeficient.
Well, it was very interesting at the beginning when I first saw the animals, because I wasn't really sure what it was. It was something good, but I didn't know what it was.
In short, these pigs lack an immune system. Many animals have SCID, including mice, horses, and humans.
It also has applications to humans. Pig physiology and anatomy and immunity is very similar to humans.
SCID pigs have no immune system. Scientists are able to implant human tumors into the pigs without the tumors being rejected. Most cancer researchers use SCID mice, but mice DNA varies greatly from human DNA.
And in developing drugs for SCID mice, since they're not humans, oftentimes those drugs they develop for mice don't translate well into humans.
Skid pigs give researchers more hope, more opportunities, and potentially better treatments to find a cancer cure.
These researchers are so excited. The professor I talked to, Bob Rowland, said he still has the email from 2 years ago from the day they found those pigs.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Alyssa. When we come back, we'll be joined by a special guest from the Humane Society.
Look at me. I'm so cute and cuddly. I'm also very charming. I'll tell you what you want to hear and sweep you off your feet. I'm also spontaneous, maybe a little erratic at times. I take risks most people wouldn't, but that makes me fun. I'm also very persuasive. I can convince you to do something you'd never dream of doing. And you'll love my stories. I usually stretch the truth a little bit, but you'll believe me because I'm such a good liar. I'm never wrong, and I never feel guilty. I always win, but just look how cute and innocent I look. I can fool you, your parents. I can even fool your friends. Trust me.
Welcome back. I'm Katie Watkins.
And I'm Mary Claire Cunningham. We're now joined by Sarah from the Riley County Humane Society.
Hey guys.
Sarah, welcome. Who is this? And tell us a little bit about it.
This is Adelaide. She's about 15 weeks old, and her kind of story is she was hit by a car about 10 weeks old, and she survived it. So now she's just still kind of recuperating, and hopefully in another month or so she'll be ready for adoption, her forever home.
That's great. Sarah, can you tell us how we can help out with Riley County Humane Society?
Absolutely. Since we do not have a facility of our own yet, we are all volunteer and foster based. That's kind of how we do what we do. So really we need volunteers to help us at adoption events, kind of just getting the word out there that, you know, we do have these adoptable animals that need help and loving homes. So
absolutely. And how can we go about that?
If you just go on to our website, rchsks.org, you can email us with your questions, how you want to get involved, how can you help to get involved. We also have our foster applications up there and our adoption forms should you find someone that you want to adopt.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us today. We all know cats are not a fan of getting wet. Daniela, will we be seeing some rain this week?
Unfortunately, that is the case for us here in Manhattan. But before I start off, did you guys hear about an earthquake that occurred in southern Kansas yesterday?
I did not.
Yeah, pretty scary stuff. The folks in Harper County got hit by an earthquake last night. Nothing too drastic, just a 3.3 earthquake on the Richter scale. But first, let's take a look outside. As you can see, it is a bit gloomy out here in the Little Apple, and that is because we are under a severe thunderstorm watch. Now, the good news for us is that unfortunately this will clear out. Now, let's take a look at the temperature across the nation. As you can see, you folks in California are going to be hitting the high 70s today. That is the same case for you folks out in Washington. Now, for you guys down in the Sunshine State, you're going to be hitting the high 80s today, and that is the same for you guys down in Texas. Now, let's take a closer look at Colorado. You're going to be hitting the high 60s, and that is because this cold front that is coming our way is pushing its way towards the Midwest. There's also a low pressure system heading towards us, which is causing us to get a lot of showers throughout the day. Now let's take a closer look at the Kansas map. As you can see, you folks in western Kansas will be getting a lot of showers today. And for us here in Riley County, we're going to get a lot of thunderstorms today. For you guys out in Kansas City, that will be the same case now. Now let's take a closer look at the 5-day forecast. As you can see, we're going to get a high of 81 degrees and a low of 60 degrees for today. And we are going to be experiencing thunderstorms all throughout today and tomorrow. Unfortunately, that cold front is heading towards us, which is causing us to be in the low 60s
mid-60s and hit the low 40s and throughout Thursday and Friday. Now, the good news for us is on Saturday, when the Wildcats take on Texas Tech, we'll be hitting the high 80s, low 50s. And finally, on Sunday, when the Royals play the Angels here in Kansas, we'll be hitting the high 70s and the low 50s, and it'll be sunny. That's all I have for weather. Back to you guys.
A K-State fraternity and sorority hosted a soccer tournament this weekend to benefit charities.
However, as Channel 8 News reporter Zaldi Dungen explains, this event had deeper meanings.
Thanks, guys. Yes, two Greek houses organized a soccer philanthropy at Annenberg Park on Sunday. But check out how this tournament meant more than just playing soccer.
Soccer. Whether if it's the World Cup or a simple pickup game, it's a sport many people enjoy, as it attracts fans from all over and all walks of life. And that's what fraternity Pi Kappa Alpha and sorority Pi Beta Phi had in mind when creating the CWG Classic, a 3-on-3 soccer tournament to raise money for their philanthropies. But to these two fans, this soccer tournament has a special meaning.
The CWG Classic not only brings funds to a special cause, but also honors the memory of one special brother.
And that brother is Christopher William Garlow, whom the event is named after. Garlow was a part of Pike until he tragically died in a car accident in 2009. And as event coordinator Grady Markison explains, the members of Pike had made sure to remember their fallen brother.
In our trophy case, right when you walk in the house, we've got his picture, a little plaque that says something about him, and then his jersey. So we still try to keep relations with memory of him as much as possible.
At first, Pike organized charity concerts in his memory, something that the Garlow family is thankful for.
The concerts have been wonderful in the past, as well as raising good money and making good memories in his name.
But after some thought, they decided to start an event to commemorate Garlow's favorite sport.
Chris was very passionate about soccer. He actually played in college before coming to Kansas State, and he was a big-time member for our intramural teams. And so we just knew he loved soccer, so we figured we might as well do a soccer tournament for him.
And the parents are sure that Chris approves everything Pike has done in his memory.
I'm sure he's looking down with a smile on his face laughing right now.
The CWG Classic raised over $8,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project as well as the Reed Lead the Chief Foundation. So it's pretty great to see events benefiting these great organizations.
Yes, it truly is. Thanks, Salty.
When we come back, we sit down with a K-State student who has created her own opportunities.
There's the lob, and Foster with the throwdown.
For behind-the-scenes access and up-to-the-minute news, get connected with K-State Athletics on social media. Search K-State Sports to join the conversation today.
Powerful ideas are sparked by a natural curiosity. It could begin with a single seed or a brilliant ray of light. At Kansas State University, it begins with research that advances the world, where science and creativity meet. At Kansas State University, powerful ideas begin with you.
K-State Student Radio brings every game to K-State fans on the Wildcat 91.9.
Line's going to take a pitch out to the right. Hubert dices his way up and into the end zone for the Wildcat touchdown. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw deep over the middle of the field for Tyler Lockett. Catches it. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Kansas State.
For all of your K-State sports coverage, tune into the Wildcat 91.9.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Katie Watkins.
And I'm Mary Claire Cunningham. Now we are joined in studio by reporter Morgan Heelsman, who is with a special guest.
Morgan, who do we have with us today?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Lindsay McNary. She has had a really awesome opportunity with K-State HGTV. Can you tell us about your new show that you have?
Yeah, for sure, Morgan. Going into my junior year, I really kind of wanted to find different opportunities where I could see where I really fit in this kind of career choice. So I am in the pilot process of creating a new talk show that deals with K-State athletes for K-State HGTV.
Okay, awesome. And the K-State athletes, how are you going about talking to them? Who's your new person that you're talking to?
Well, for our first episode, we worked with Katie Brand, which she was such a pleasure to work with, such a fun girl. And we really have to work with sports information, and that's something that's been kind of interesting to have to work with for once, is not knowing anything coming into just writing a TV show. That's kind of the hardest thing for me to know, is that you have so many different entities trying to make the entire big picture happen.
And how did you get this opportunity? I mean, not a lot of students get to have their own show.
Well, honestly, I've been working for K-State HD for about a year now, and I have been working closely with Brian Smoller, and who's been really kind of coaching me and kind of teaching me things about talenting with sports and working with SIs. And one day I had written some mock episodes up over my summer internship, walked into his office, and I presented him with an idea, and he said, "Go do it." So he's been really great. Him and Steve Harvey have both been great mentors for this entire project of mine, and hopefully we can create something that's self-sustaining and that can benefit all students around. A cool thing about this is we even have students of Bellis Academy in Manhattan that actually will be doing like hair and makeup for this show, which is something, it's new and refreshing in a different kind of way.
Now, what's been your favorite part about this entire process that you've had to do? You've obviously had to talk to a lot of people, a lot of athletes. What's been the best part so far?
My best part would probably have to say is taping. I love being in front of a camera and just talking to people and getting to know people. I really don't get nervous when having to talk to people to try and like pitch an idea, and just doing something that I love is something that everyone kind of strives for, I think.
And what other athletes are you going to try and get on the show that you really want to talk to?
Well, we're going to range from all different athletes. So anyone who is maybe on the K-State rowing team to maybe Jake Waters for K-State football. Really just kind of working with sports information and finding out who's available during their different times in their amazingly busy schedules to figure out when we can get them into the studio and get to know them.
Well, it sounds like a really awesome show, and I look forward to seeing it. I'm sure everybody else will.
Thanks. I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks.
The Wildcats had a busy week last week.
Reporter Alec Gartner is here to tell us about all the action from over the weekend. Alec?
Thanks, guys. The K-State football team got back to their winning ways this weekend as the Miners from the University of Texas El Paso paid a visit to Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Coming off a heartbreaking loss to Auburn, the Cats started fast and scored the game's first 45 points. Quarterback Jake Waters finished the day with 2 touchdowns, 1 passing and 1 rushing, and star receiver Tyler Lockett ran a punt back for a touchdown. But the real star of the game was running back Charles Jones, who finished the day having 12 rushes for 76 yards and 3 touchdowns. The K-State defense remained tough against the Miners, laying hard hits throughout the game before allowing 4 touchdowns when the game was out of reach, making the final 58-28. Though the football players weren't the only people on the field Saturday, K-State held its annual band day. Students from 25 high schools across Kansas came to play songs like God Bless America and Sweet Caroline. K-State hosted Baylor in their first Big 12 matchup of the season in Ahern Fieldhouse. The Wildcats got off to a hot start, taking the first set in front of a packed house, but the Bears clawed back to take the second. K-State came right back and took the third, but the momentum wasn't great enough, and the Bears won the next 2 sets in a 5-set thriller. The match was competitive throughout, with the total number of points being 102-101. This was K-State's second loss of the year and gives them a record of 13-2.
So how about those Royals last night? What a game. Tell us about it.
Yeah, they played their first playoff game in 29 years against the Oakland A's last night, and they got down early 7-3, but came back to win it in 12 innings, 9-8. So let's watch a video on how the fans celebrated in Aggieville.
Thanks, Alec. When we come back, we'll take one last look at weather. Stay with us.
There's the lob, and Foster with the throwdown.
For behind-the-scenes access and up-to-the-minute news, get connected with K-State Athletics on social media. Search K-State Sports to join the conversation today.
Powerful ideas are sparked by a natural curiosity. It could begin with a single seed or a brilliant ray of light. At Kansas State University, it begins with research that advances the world, where science and creativity meet. At Kansas State University, powerful ideas begin with you.
K-State Student Radio brings every game to K-State fans on the Wildcat 91.9.
Klein's going to take a pitch out to the right. Hubert dices his way up and into the end zone for the Wildcat touchdown. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw deep over the middle of the field for Tyler Lockett. Catches it. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Kansas State.
For all of your K-State sports coverage, tune into the Wildcat 91.9.
We've got a little bit of time left, so let's send it back out to Daniela for one last weather report.
Daniela, is it time for me to break out a sweater?
Hi guys, as you can see, it's a bit of a deceiving image out here because the sun is still poking out through the clouds, but do not be deceived by this because you will be needing a rain jacket. Fortunately for us, the weather should be cleared out in time for the Texas Tech game. Back to you guys in the studio.
Daniela, well, October is upon us. Where's the time gone?
I know, it's crazy.
Luckily, there are a couple events going on for K-State students. Wizard of Oz is the little theater. We'll be putting that on at the K-State Union. That's October 5th, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't seen it, and it's a classic, so I would definitely go.
Definitely. And then on the exact same day, the Beach Museum on the K-State campus is holding an exhibit. It's called Art Beyond Sight, and it's an open house. So that's interesting, really exciting.
Also, Wildcat Writing and Research Consultations has free tutoring for writing papers. And so that's October 5th, 6 to 9 p.m.
That's great. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
You can find Channel 8 News on Facebook at Channel 8 News KSU and at Channel 8 KSU on Twitter. For all the Channel 8 News teams, thanks for watching.
Join us next week for another edition of Channel 8 News.